Good morning, everyone. This is BremSter, and today I'm coming to you with two puzzles. I'm coming to you with a puzzle called Oddly Even Stroll by Virtual, and a puzzle called Oddly Even Hike, which is by myself, which is basically based on the Virtual puzzle, and with a lot of help of the Skunkworks crew to finish it off and test it and do some refining at the end. And the reason I'm coming to you with these puzzles is today is Friday the 13th, and all spookiness aside, I'm not superstitious, I really don't care. Today is the release date of the Polarizing Sudoku Puzzle Pack, which is something that a whole bunch of us have been working on now for probably about a month. And this is the pack that is coming out on my channel. So this is a pack of 50 puzzles. And they are all based around the odd-even constraint, or polarity in some way. They don't always exactly use the odd-even constraint. There's some twists that are in here. Now, rather than go into all of the details, although I'll go into more on this video than I will on most, what I'm going to do is I'm going to record a release video, which I will link to above, which will have all of the details about how I've put in the difficulty, we have put in the difficulty ratings, and how you'll be able to submit answers and everything, as well as some more details to the pack. So if you're after all of those nitty-gritty details, then you can check the video that I've linked to. I'll also put links to the video and to the pack in the description below, which I will do for all of the videos while it is running. I'm going to be running this because it is 50 puzzles for a lot more than this month, because there's only a couple of weeks left in this month. I'm going to be running this up until the 24th of June. So this is going to be running for, what's that, over 5 weeks, maybe 6, because it's a big pack. There's a lot in it, and I don't want people to feel rushed. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Sudoku world. I'm hoping to continue to release videos every day. I'm not the only channel out there. Go check out some of the others. They're amazing. Hopefully you're a member of Ashish Kumar's Enthralling Sudoku, and you got all the puzzles from that. There's the stuff that Cracking the Cryptic releases. There's watching streams on Ranks, all of that sort of stuff. So because there's so much content out there, I don't want people to feel rushed, and this is 50 puzzles. The contributors to this pack. So I've contributed some puzzles. Hi, I'm BremSter. Jeremy Dover has submitted, Mavericks JD, Polando, Rumplana, Riffclown, Sotek, Virtual, Xeon Risk, and Zegrez. They've all contributed puzzles. People I also need to thank for help with the pack are Chili, J40, Maggie, and Nich and Agarwal. Another big thank you, of course, to Sven for Sven's Sudoku pad, who is without which, I would not be able to do most of what I do. So with that, what I'm going to do now is, rather than go into all of the details, although that was a long intro, that happens, I'm now going to cut over to the first puzzle, and I'm going to explain Oddly Even Stroll. Okay, this is Oddly Even Stroll by Virtual, and this puzzle is designed to be an introduction to the odd-even constraint for people who haven't done it before. Now, you may be looking at this and thinking the circles and squares look a little bit different, and that's because we've made a cosmetic change to the way we're presenting them in the pack, and we've done that for a couple of reasons. One, so the pack stands out a little bit, and secondly, because when you highlight these cells in different colors and everything, they actually kind of work. So if you highlight this in a yellow, you can still see the constraint, but the yellow is very clear. Or if you highlight it orange, then you've still got the same effect. And similar, if you highlight it blue, any of the colors, they still seem to stand out. And if you're interacting this with other constraints, it was possible for us to not have the clues hidden behind other constraints. So it made it a little bit both visually distinctive, and it was a little bit clearer when we were test solving and everything. So we did this just to make it a little bit easier on the solvers, as well as to give our pack a bit of a consistent theme. Anyway, on to the puzzle. The odd-even rule, I may as well go into rules explanation. So normal Sudoku rules apply. In every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Then there's odd even. Any cell containing one of these squares must contain an even digit, and any cell containing a circle must contain an odd digit. And it'll become very clear when I'm solving this why we were focusing so heavily on highlighting. That's what we've got to go on, so let's give this a shot. Now, as I said in the introduction, this was designed to be a gentle introduction to the odd-even constraint. We've got a few more in the pack that people can solve. So one of the tricks that we often do when we're solving odd-even puzzles is we literally select all of the possibilities for where cells are of particular polarities, and whoops, that's the wrong one. And then you highlight those cells a particular color. So what I'm doing now is I'm selecting all of the cells that must be odd, and I think I've got that correct, and I've highlighted them a particular color. And then you select all of the cells that must be even. I missed an odd. I missed two odds. I'll get back to them. And you highlight those a different color. I use yellow and blue because I find those much more visually clear on my eyes. Yeah, I just find them, and I find digits easier to read on them, and yeah, they're just the colors I use. So once you've done this, what you can then do is, because each row, column, and box must contain the digits 1 to 9, and within those digits there are 5 odd digits and there are 4 even digits, you can look for things like this, where in row 5 we already have 5 odd digits. So these digits here must be even. Then we can look in box 4 and we can see that we've got 4 even digits, which is the most you can have in a set of 1 to 9. So those must be odd. Then you can look in column 1 where we've got 4 even digits. Those must be odd. We've got 5 odd in box 5. Those must be even. We've got 4 even in box 6. Those must be odd. We've now got 5 odd in column 7. Those must be even. Now, can this go further? Yes, we've got 4 even in column 6, so these must be odd. We've got 4 even in column 4. Those must be odd. We've now got 5 odd in box 2. Those must be even. We've got 5 odd in box 8. Those must be even. And I haven't even looked at digits yet. All I'm doing is locking down even and odd. We've got 5 odd in row 7. These must be even. We've got 4 even in box 7. These must be odd. We've got 4 even in row 9. That must be odd, which gives me the 5th even in box 9. That must be even, which gives me the 4th even in column 9. That must be odd. I've got 4 evens in row 1. Those must be odd. Gives me 5 odds in box 1. Those must be even. And there's only one cell left, and because of the 5 odds here, or the 5 odds in the row, that must be even. And now I've got the odd even coloring on the entire grid. Basically, at this point, in a lot of these puzzles, I don't know if it's true in this one, you can solve them as 2 independent puzzles, an odd puzzle and an even puzzle. So what am I looking at? So 2 must go here. It's the only even cell left that, so 2 can't go in either of those. I have to put a 2 somewhere. So now 6 can only go here, and this has to be an 8. That means 8. These are 6 and 8, and I can't put 8 there, so that is 8. This is 6. 6 now has to go here by Sudoku because it can't go in it or an odd cell. These are 4 and 8, so this is 8 and this is 4. This is 8. It's the only place in the column that the 8 can go because I can ignore any cell that isn't even when I'm placing these. So these are 4 and 6. This is a nice trick that you sometimes see. We've got all 4 evens need to be placed, but 2 can't go in any of those 3. So 2 must go there. 2 can't go in those or that one. So this is the 2. 8 has to go in one of those 2, but it can't go there. That is the 8. These are also 4 and 6. So 4, 6 can't go there. So this sees 2, 4, and 6. So this becomes the 8. This becomes 4 and 6. These are 4 and 6. And now that's going to start unraveling because the 6 sees that. So that's 4, that's 6, that's 4, that's 6, that's 4, that is 6. Now these have to be 2 and 6 because 4 and 8 is already in, or this cell sees 4, 6, and 8 already. So this has to be the 2. which means in this column that has to be the 8. All that's left is that to be a 4. This has to be a 6 because it's what's missing from the row, which means I can go up and make that 4 and that's 6. And down here I need to put a 2, which can only go there. I need to put a 4, which can only go there, and this needs to be an 8. And I've done all of the even digits and I haven't even looked at the odds. And this is something you can do with some odd even puzzles. So in this box, the digits that are missing here are 1 and 9. So that has to be the 9, that has to be the 1. 9 now can't go in those or there, so that is a 9. So 9 is in one of those two, not sure which yet. 3 is in one of those two. 5 is in one of those two. That is a 3-5 pair, or I could have just looked at the row and said, where does the 7 go? The 7 has to go there. 9 has to go in one of those two because it can't go there or there, so 9 is right there. That puts 9, can't go in any of those, so 9 is here. So I think this, 9 is right here because 9 can't go in either of those two. So this is 5 and 7. The 7 here is looking down. So this is 5 and this is 7. In this column, I am missing 3 and 5. So this has to be 1 and 7, and we know the order, 1 and 7. So this becomes 3, 5. 7 can't go there or there, so this becomes 7. This is 3 and 5. This is 3 and 5. I need to put a 1 in one of those. 1, 3, 5, not sure yet. This is C's 1, 3, and 9. So this is 5 and 7, and this 7 gives us the order. That's the 5, that's the 7, makes that 3, makes that 5, makes that 3, takes 3 out of both of those. This now needs to be 1 or 5 for the column. This needs to be 1 or 3. And the 1, 3 here means that this can no longer be a 1 because then I couldn't put 1 in this box. So this has to be the 5, 1, 5. This has to be 1 or 7. And again, the same thing. If I put a 1 here, I can't put 1 in this box. So this becomes the 7. This becomes the 1. This 1 looks down, making that the 3 or that the 1. I could have done that earlier and saved the problem. The 3 looks up, making that 5 and that 3. This 5 looks over, making that 3 and that 5. And now I'm just down to a single box. 1 must go here. 3 has to go here, which means that will be the 9. And I can put in the 7, and that completes the puzzle. It didn't take me 112 minutes. I just forgot to restart the puzzle again. So that is how you can use the parity of cells to in some of the puzzles to quite easily determine, sort of split the puzzle into 2 different distinct parts, and then be able to use Sudoku in a slightly easier way with some of these puzzles. Of course, not all of the puzzles are going to be that easy, and sometimes you're going to have to explore in a bit more tricky way how it's going to progress. So the next puzzle, the oddly even hike, hopefully will be a little bit more challenging. I actually don't remember. It was a while ago that we said it. So let's cut over to the next puzzle and see what we end up with. Okay, so after our nice oddly even stroll, now we have to sort of get ready for our nice oddly even hike, which, as you probably have noticed, is named after the stroll is for a walk in the park and the hike is for one of our scenic hikes. So this is a puzzle. You'll notice that the odd even clues are in the same position and all of the given digits are from the previous puzzle. And the way this came about was Virtual had a puzzle at about this point, and was trying to figure out what he was going to do with it. And I literally grabbed his puzzle and I started exploring in one direction while he was exploring in another. So this is really based off Virtual's work. So this is kind of a Virtual puzzle as well. All credit to him on coming up with the original thing. And we just explored in different directions. And this one came out to be a little bit harder and a little bit different. And we thought it would be cool to do a release where we could do the 2 different puzzles based on almost identical grid in some ways, or the same sort of clue placement, with just some different constraints. So instead of just having the odd even on this one, what I did is I was playing around with adding difference dots. So the rules on this with odd and even are exactly the same. There's a lot less given digits, but what I've done is I've added these difference dots. And the way difference dots work is the cells that are separated by a difference dot, the digits in those cells must have a difference of the number that is in that cell. So these two cells will be consecutive because they have to have a difference of 1. These two cells will have a difference of 3. And with that, this becomes solvable. I do not remember how to solve this puzzle at all, apart from the fact that a lot of the tricks in this are going to be similar to the previous puzzle. So, yeah, if you've jumped straight to this because you wanted to skip the easy puzzle, odd even, circles are odd, squares are even, and I just explained the difference dots. Let's give this a shot. So I'm going to do the same as I did with the previous puzzle. I'm going to select all of the circles and the 2 odd digits, and I'm going to color them yellow, and then I'm going to grab all of the squares and the 2 even digits, and I'm going to color them blue. Now, we can take this a bit further straight away because we know that anything that is consecutive with an even digit must be odd. So I can grab anything with a difference of 1 from an even digit and make it odd, and I can grab anything that is consecutive with an odd digit and make it even. So that will become odd, that will become odd, that will become odd. I think that's all the consecutives done. But we can also do the same if you think about a 3 difference. A 3 difference will also always be a polarity shift. So any difference of an odd number will change the polarity. Any difference of an even number will maintain the polarity. See this digit right here? That is also even. I just missed it. So any difference of an odd number will change the polarity. Any difference of an even number will maintain the polarity. So because these are all 3s, they are odd, they also must shift the polarity. So these will all also shift the polarity, and we end up with that, I think. That seems to be correct. And now we can do the same, well, that one as well. But we can do the same trick. We've got the 5 odds in the column, so these become even. 5 odds in the row, these become even. 5 evens, these become odd. We've got 4 evens, so that becomes odd. We've got 4 evens, these become odd. 5 odds, these become even, which I could have got by using those if I was paying attention to the dots that I'd provided or have been provided. Let's not focus on who made the puzzle. As I said, it's kind of a lot of people were involved in this one. There's 4 evens in the column, so they become odd. I'm actually a little bit worried. I do not remember how you break into this puzzle, so this is going to be fun. 4 evens, so these become odd. Is anything jumping out at me? So one thing that is jumping out at me is the trick I mentioned in the previous puzzle up here, you can do down here. So these have to be even, but I can't put even in those. So this becomes a 6. This also becomes a 6 because I can't put 6 in any of those. So this has to be 5 or 7 only. So this has to be 4 or 8 because it sees 2 and 6. Oh, there's 5 odds in row 7. These are all even, which of course means I've now got 4 evens in box 7. Sometimes spotting this can be tricky. I've now got all 4, and I've got all 4 evens here. So these become odd. I've got 5 odds, so these become even. I've now got all 4 evens, so this becomes odd. I've now got 5 odds in row 2, so this becomes even. 5 odds in column 3, so this becomes even. 4 evens in row 1, these become odd. I'm not sure if this is exactly the same odd even pattern as the previous puzzle. It is possible it is. This becomes even, and we've got all of the odd even colouring. Because it's based off the same odd even dots and everything and a lot of the given digits, it may be exactly the same odd even pattern. But I am trying to solve this as a completely independent puzzle. So now we don't have as many given digits providing us as much information. So this could be a little bit more tricky. 8 has to be in one of those two. Except 2 can't be in those and it can't be there. So this is the 2, this is the 8, this is the 4. These are a 4-8 pair, so this has to be the 6. So this will be a 4-8 pair, or a 4 or an 8, because it has to be, this cell can't go in there. So this has to be 4 or 8. So 2 has to go in here, which means 2 goes in here. 6 is in one of those two because it can't go in one of those. So whatever these two cells are will go in here. 8 is in one of those two. So 4 or 8. I do remember this being more tricky, but I've got to remember the trick, or I've got to find the trick is more important. So 4 can't go in any of those, so this becomes 4. So this is 2, 6, and 6 has to be up here because of this 6. So 6 can't go there, so this is 6 and this is 2. Now we're starting to get somewhere. This has to be 3 different from 6. So if I go 3 down from 6, I get to 3. If I go 3 up from 6, I get to 9. Now this is also 3 different from 3 or 9 and has to be even. I can't go down from 3 and I can't go up from 9. So this has to be the 6. Because whether I go up from 3 or down from 9, that's going to be the 6. 2 now has to go here because 2 can't go in any of those. 3 different from 2 makes this a 5, which resolves that as a 7. And we're starting to get some odd digits. So this is an example of where you're probably going to need to not just solve the even puzzle on its own and then jump to the odd. You're going to have to use the fact that you get some information from the even to then force into the odd and onwards. And other puzzles, you won't be able to resolve all of the parity as you go, and you're going to have to continue to alternate between modes of solving and everything. Each puzzle is different. Otherwise, it would get boring really quick. 6 can't go there or there, so this becomes the 6. 4 can't go there, so this becomes a 4-8 pair because I cannot put 4, 8, or 6 in that cell. This becomes the 2, and this is a 4-8 pair. So that lines up with that column and that column, so that makes good sense. 6 is in one of those two. So 4 or 8. I'm not seeing a problem with any of that yet. So these are 2, 4, and 8. Is there a problem with any of that? Not that I'm seeing. Although that's interesting. If this is a 2, this is a 5. If this is a 4, 3 down from 4, because I can't go down from 2. 3 down from 4 would make this a 1. 3 up from 4 would make this a 7, which I can't do. And if this is an 8, I can't go up, so I'd have to go down, and that would make this a 5. This is only a 1 or a 5. Huh. Can I do that anywhere else? 7 is in here. One of the advantages of having a bad memory is you can come back to the puzzles that you've worked on and go, I have no idea what's going on. Right, I've got 157. So these are 3, 9, and this has to be 5, 7. So this becomes 3, 9. Has that helped me at all? You know, I'm not sure it has. So that's a 4. This is 3. And if this is 8, this is 7 or 9. Because I can't put 5 next to the 4. So 1 is in one of those two. Because I can't put 1 in either of those. That's not helping me. This could be any even, though. So these are 2, 4, and 8. So have I got a similar restriction to here? I think I do. So if this is a 2, it can't go down, so it goes up and becomes a 5. If this is a 4, it can go down to a 1, but it can't go up to a 7 because it sees this same 7. And if it's an 8, it goes down to a 5. So this is also 1 or 5. This, however, doesn't have the same restriction, but this is 1, 5, or 7. 2 goes up to 5, 4 goes down to 1 or up to 7, and 8 goes down to 5. But 2 or 8 make these 5. 1 or 7 means that these have to be 4. That's weird. I don't remember this at all. Four. So these are also 2, 4, 8, which means this is also 1, 5, or 7. One of these has to be 4? Because 2 and 8 both connect. So 5 has to be in here because 4 connects to 5 has to be in here. Because one of these has to be 2 or 8 and the other one has to be 4. So there must be a 4 in there. So this is 2, 6, or 8 in here. That's very strange. I don't remember that at all. Can I do anything with it, though? Well, 5 is there, 5 is there. So 5 has to be down here now. Oh, hang on. It's got to be... No, it doesn't have to be. I was just thinking there's a connectivity problem here, but there's not. So I could go 2, 3, 4. I could go 4, 3, 4, or 4, 5, 4, or I could go 8, 9, 8. This is 3, 5, 9. second. Okay. Sorry, my music player had stopped. And if I don't get the I need music. So I'm trying to. This is tricky. So 4 must be in one of these. So this is 2, 6, or 8 as well. I can't put 5 in here because of the 3 differences here. And the fact that I can't put 4 into both of those to make this one 7. So these... What can they... No. 2 would go up to 5. 6 would go down to 3 or up to 9. I can't put 5. So hang on, this can't be 2. Because 2 would go up to 5. This cannot be 2. 6 would go down to 3 or up to 9. 8 would go... This has to be 6. Which means this is not 6. This is 6. So 6 means that this can't be 5. This is 7 because it can't be 5 because 5 has to be down here because of the trick over here with the 5s. This is 7. 7 now has to go here, which puts 7 in one of those two. Now 6 is with 3 or 9. That's fine. Now 8. This is now 1, 3, or 9. So these are 2, 4, and 8. I've done all the 6s. There's no 2 there. I don't know why I had it there. So 2 is in one of those. Sorry, everyone. Had a technical interruption there. Technical interruption meaning cat. Okay, so where was I up to? So we had... These are the highlighted cells. So there'd been 2... I think I just eliminated 2 from... Yeah, I just eliminated 2 from there. So what do I have? 4, 8. So I've got all the evens pencil marked. That's good. Don't think I want to pencil mark all the odds. There's still too many possibilities. Now, this is another one of those weird things like here, isn't it? So if this is 2, this has to be 5. If it's 4, it has to be 1 because it can't be 7. And if it's 8, it has to be 5. So this is another 1, 5. Hang on, there's 7 here. There's no 7 over here. This is a 1, 5 pair. So I can take 1 out of there. This is 3, 9. This is 1, 5. That would have been a much easier way to get that. So these are 3, 7, and 9 and must contain a 7. That doesn't eliminate any of those. 4 must be in one of those two, which takes 4 out of there. Which means this can no longer be 1, because 1 is not 3 different from either 2 or 8. This is a 5. There's no 5 there. This is a 7. This is a 5. Does that do anything? Does that do anything? 7 is in one of those two now. 4. So these are 1, 3, and 9. One is in one of these two. Because it can't go there. Because why couldn't it go there? Because it's not 1 away from 4 or 8. So 1 is in one of these two, which makes this a 5. And once this is a 5, 5 is not 3 away from 4. So that's not 4. 4 is in one of those two. So this is 2 or 8. So now 5 is down here. So this is 2 or 8. Now 2 or 8, oh, that doesn't limit that at all. Wow. Okay. 2, 4, 8. Now, 1 away means that can't be 5, but it could be 3. 1, 3, 7, or 9. Couldn't have been 5 anyway, so... So this is 1, 3, or 9. But that's the 7 being up here, which we've got... Oh, how am I so blind? Seven, 5... So this is 1, 3, or 9 for the row. Oh, it's not 1 because 1 is pointing at it. So this is 1, 5. Okay. So these are still 1, 3, 5, 9. That's 1, 3, 5, 9. That's 1, 3, 5, 9. That doesn't... So this... Is that the only difference dot I haven't pencil marked? But it can be 1, 3, 7, or 9. It can't be 5 because it... 5 is in one of those two, which means this is a 1. Well, 2 is not... which means this is the 4. This is not the 4. This is the 4. This is not the 4. 4 is in here. But if that's not 4... 1 is not 3 away from 2. And this is a 5. This is a 1. This is not the 5. This is the 5, which means this is the 1. I've got to put a 1 in here now. Now this is a 5, which works for 2 or 8. 1, 5... 5 is up here. Except 5 is over here, which means that's not the 5. This is the 5. Because this is 3, 5, and 9. There's no 5 there. This is the 5. This is a 3-9 pair. This is 139. So that works either way. That works either way. Okay. So what is I missing? Sudoku is what I'm missing. One has to be up. One is in the corner because there's a pointing pair of ones there and a one there. So one has to be in those two. That one looks up. So these are 3, 7, and 9. I can't put 7 there. This is 3, 7, 9. Got to put 1 in one of those two. Seven is in one of those two, and it can't be there. I can't put 7 there at all because it's not one away from 4. This is actually a 3. This is a 9. This is a 7. 3 and 7 look down, making that the 9. That is the 7. That is the 1. That is the 3. That is the 9. That is the 3. That is the 1. That is the 3. That is the 9. This is not 3 or 9. This is 1. This is not 1. This is 3, 7, or 9. That is a 3, 7, 9 triple. This is the 1. This is not the 1. Okay. This is now 7. This is not 7. This is 3 or 9. This 7 is looking up, making that 7. 7 is 1 away from 8. 2. That's not 2. Oops, wrong way to do this. So this is 2, which I could have got from that. Those pencil marks all work. Wow, that's some weird patterning going on. Ah, 3 looking over makes that 9 and that 3. 3 is 1 away from 4. So that is not 8. 4 makes that 8, which makes that 4, which makes that 8, which makes that 4, which makes that 8. 3 looks up, making that 9, making that 3. 9 is 1 away from 8, which makes that 4, which makes that 8, which makes that 2, which makes that 4. The 2 looks up, making that 8, which makes that 2. 2 is 1 away from 3, which makes that not, which makes that 3, which makes that 9, which makes that 3, and that 9, and that ends the puzzle. And the time is completely wrong because I had an interruption. It actually might be right. I have no idea. So that was Oddly Even Hike, which was one of the more, as I said, we grabbed the puzzle and we made some adaptations to it to ramp up the difficulty a little. And that's a puzzle of the difficulty that we thought would sort of fit into the scenic hike difficulty. So there are 20 puzzles we considered to be walks in the park, so easier than this. And then there are 20 that we considered to be scenic hikes, which were around this difficulty. Some of them are harder than this. Some of them are a little bit easier than this, but with rule sets that you may not be familiar with. Some of them are probably a little harder than this. Actually, some of them are definitely a bit harder than this. They're edging up to the harder scenic hikes. We've tried to order them in the book so that the earlier hikes are easier. But difficulty is subjective. You may find some of the walks in the park harder than some of the scenic hikes. Every solver is different. I mean, that's why we do puzzles. Everyone finds different things. We hope you enjoy the pack. The way you can submit answers to me is by grabbing row 3. I will continue to do that and emailing them to me. And at the end of June, I will do a call out of people. I'm looking at the ending date being, I think it's going to be the 21st of June, but I'll come up with details closer to the end. Um, and yeah, I'll see if I can line up a prize or something. It's really hard to do because I like giving away stuff for free, so I don't have anything to give away. We'll see what we can come up with. But at least I'll try and do a name readout or something, which is also tricky because I tend to record in advance. But we'll see. But if the important thing is to enjoy the puzzles, it really is, and I hope you do enjoy the puzzles we've put together for you this time. If you're a setter and you're interested in being involved with our packs and the creation process and the collaborative setting that we do, also reach out to me. You can reach out, as I said, on the BremSter discussion um, forum or via any of the methods listed below, and I'll put you in touch with some of the other people who help organize it. The one of the main people to reach out to would be Riff Clown. He is one of the people who does a lot of the organizing for it, but feel free to hit up me first if you're a bit nervous just reaching out to someone. And we can try and get you involved because the more the merrier. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for I really, yeah, thank you for I'm going to thank you in advance for downloading the puzzle pack and giving our puzzles a shot. Please provide feedback on what you think. I hope you enjoyed these two puzzles. And as always, particularly considering there's 50 puzzles for you to play with, good luck with your solving.